Hello everyone and welcome back to another Wisdom 101 video. Today, we're starting part 2, episode 2 of my rating of the worlds, not rating the worlds, overview of each of the worlds in Wizard 101. I did Wizard City yesterday, gave my opinion on that, how I think that they messed up a little bit with the updates. Some people said the updates were good. I disagree, and fundamentally that will never change. So, let's get into Krokotopia, my opinion on it, and all that. So I'd first like to preface this by saying that I think that Krokotopia is one of the most nostalgic worlds in this game, like for me especially, because I was here, not only was I here for years, because I got stuck on a quest here as a kid, and that's all I could do, but also just because I think the music, the atmosphere, all of it is just an amazing world, and it's such a fun second world that that KingsIsle added to this game. I think realistically, like, I like this actually significantly more than Wizard City, especially the new Wizard City. I would take Krokotopia any day. It's one of my favorite worlds in the game, and I do think it's a genuinely good world. So, why is it a good world? Well, let's get into that. First, I already went over the fact that the aesthetics, atmosphere, all is amazing. But another thing is that the enemies are scaled extremely well to you as a character, I feel. Bosses have between 600 and 1,000 health. Street enemies have around 200 to 300 health. Sometimes I think 400's maximum. Which, in my opinion, scales really well to the levels you are, which is from level 10 to level about 25, somewhere in there. Realistically, 25 is the very high end of that spectrum, but definitely you can get to 25 in Croc. I think that lends really well to a world. When a world scales the enemies really well to you, it really makes the world feel better and feel more well-paced than some other worlds. But let's talk about the most major downfall of this world, and I think a lot of people will agree with this, is the pacing. The pacing of the quest line is really, really messed up, and like, no matter how much I love Krokotopia, I can't deny that. The pacing of the quest is just completely bad, and it's for one reason in particular. There is around 60 quests in Croc, and the problem is that 10 of them are in the Pyramid of the Sun, 10 of them are in the Temple of Storms, and then like 40 of them are in the Crocosphinx. And I'm not even lying to you. It's like legitimately that is around what the scale is. And the problem is that they either need to make it so that the Pyramid of the Sun's a bit longer and the Tomb of Storms a bit longer, or they need to make Crocosphinx a bit shorter. Personally, I think it could do with both. I really, really hope that they don't ruin Krokotopia's questline. I think if they keep the characters the same, like, they shouldn't try to add any story like they did in Wiz, like, where in Wizard City, they added, like, that bunny creature, in Cyclops Lane, they added Lizzo Firespitter, and the fact that they're all, like, music. I just don't think that adds any real charm to the game. Maybe as a kid, I would have found it cool, but at the same time, I think as a kid, like, looking at myself, I would have preferred what I got to what new people who are playing the game now are getting. And I think that to keep the integrity of Krokotopia and keep what the world is, they need to keep the quest line intact, but add some more quests to it. Especially in the beginning areas, because, as I said, it's only 10 to 20 quests long, and really, I don't think that is enough for especially the starting area of Krokotopia. What I think they need to do is add a little bit to the Chamber of Fire, maybe help Assistant Danforth a little bit more. The Royal Hall definitely needs some more. Potentially incorporate the Cyclops side quest into the main quest. And the Palace, I'd say the Palace of Fire is probably fine as it is. I think that's fair. But, like, to put it into perspective, the Chamber of Fire is 4 quests long. Like, 4 quests, is that enough for a street? I don't think so. That's definitely not... I definitely don't think that's enough for what Krokotopia should be. So I would change that. The Crocosphinx, I would definitely make the Hall of Champions a bit less annoying. Because the Hall of Champions, you have to fight a mob, then fight a boss, and it just keeps doing that over and over again. And definitely that is a problem, I would say. I would say that, and then make it... I would say that the Hall of Champions is pretty decent. The Grand Arenas could be a bit shorter, but the Hall of Champions is definitely decent. I would say maybe cut down on one or two of the things to collect for the sword. Potentially, like, maybe, you know... I don't know specifically. Make it so that you don't have to collect the leathers or something from the hall things. I just think it's a bit too long. It's a bit lengthy in the Krokosphinx. And then the Tomb of Storms is especially short. You only do one quest in every area. So you fight the King of the Onyx family tomb, you fight the King of the Desert family tomb, then you go to the Karna Barracks and fight the 4 princes, and then the Temple of Storms, and that's it. What I think that they should do is actually, like, fix the problem with the Jesuit family tomb and the Onyx family tomb. Like, incorporate those, like, side quests into the main quest would be pretty cool. And then the Karna Barracks as well, maybe, like, free some of the slaves, all that kind of stuff. Pretty cool. I'm not perfect with the ideas, but I think that definitely that should be done. And the Temple of Storms is fine. With this, I would say that Krokotopia should be around, instead of 50 to 60 quests, it should be around 70. And that would give them plenty of room to work with. Excuse me. But I would say that that's really it in regard to the pacing section. Let's get into what else they need to add to Croc to make it a bit better. And that is definitely a graphics update. I think that the graphics are still fine. They still hold up. But imagine what Croc could look like if they do to it what they did to Wizard City. Now, let me tell you, if they change the music of Croc, I will actually, like, suplex someone. Like, KI devs, if any of you watch this, if you change the Krokotopia music, I will come to your HQ and you will not like what happens next. Like, you will get suplexed into the ground. This music is iconic. It's what makes the world the world. If you change the music, it will ruin Krokotopia for so many people. I will not turn off classic mode if you change the music. It's as simple as that. And it's one of the reasons why in Wizard City I can't play without classic mode. Because it's just, the music is iconic, and without that, it doesn't make the world what it made it as a child. So that's really it for this world. That's what I think about it. I think it's a good world. I think it's a solid world. Needs work in the pacing, needs work in the graphics. And then if they did that without changing the integrity of the world, without changing the quest line, I think a lot of people would like it a bit more. Now, what could they add to the quest line that I think would be fine? Would be adding potentially Malistaire in again, seeing him, because I like the idea that we keep following him and just keep barely missing the encounter with him, right? Because we saw him with Dworgen in the Death School. If we saw him now actually taking the Croconomicon away or something like that, and we can't stop it, I think that would be really cool. Something that incorporates Krokotopia into the main quest line a little bit more would be really good. But I would say that the story overall is pretty good already. So that's it for today. That's my opinion on Croc. Let me know if you agree with me, disagree with me, all that in the comments below. What would you add to Croc? What would you change with Croc? All of those are fair things to comment, and I will respond to them to the best of my ability if I feel like they warrant a response. So, thank you all for watching. If you enjoyed, drop a like and the sub button, and I'll see you in the next video. Adios.